bring him in. If you need it. I don't know if you're going to need the net, but...
Got one on here, Kurt. Young, finally. He's not big.
Not a big one? Oh, he's a little guy. He's a small...
He's not too big, but he's... Unfortunately, I probably got him hooked down. Oh, he's a nice looking fish, though.
Oh, he's a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll bring him right in.
Oh.
Oh, he's a nice fish, though, Kurt.
Yeah.
You know what? Is that going that
Yeah,
video?
it's going.
You know what? I just want to say something, folks. Nice to see you guys again. I just was thinking on the way in today that this guy is taking a video. He's a remarkable guy, Kurt. Not only is he a super guy, God bless you, Kurt, but what he goes through to get these videos for you guys, I'm sure that some of you out here appreciate it. But let me tell you, some of the stuff is just bloody scary. When Kurt puts a video on there, please appreciate what the heck he went through to do it. He never volunteered this thing. That's just the way I feel about it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Ooh, I missed it. Boy, he really hit it. But I missed it. No, got him again. Took it again. This time we got him.
You bigger?
Well, it feels a little better. Feels a little better.
No?
Oh yeah, he's not too bad.
Yeah, kid.
Oh yeah, that's nice little brook trout. Nice little brookie. I saw another one underneath it. Did you see it?
No. Oh, he's a little thicker.
He's a nice little fish.
You got him? You want to lift him out?
Oh yeah, he's not bad.
Oh, he's a little thicker, eh?
Yeah, he's a little better. No, lads, I don't know if there's a tip or not, but what I did was I was trying to hold worm. And I just couldn't catch him on that whole worm. So what I did is I thought there's something strange about it because we could see them going after lures and so on. And why they weren't taking a worm right then kind of mystified me. I'm not using any weight whatsoever, using a small hook, gold hook. But what I did is I cut off about half of the worm. And as soon as I did that, bam, they started to nail it. But I had to do that to get that fish. Now that is a nice trout. We're gonna try to get some eaters. We'd like to have bigger trout, but we don't think there are a lot bigger fish in here. So we're gonna have to be happy with what we got here today. I'm going to come back here in a minute, guys, and I'm going to tell you that we know that a brook trout is part of the char family. We know that. One of the lads, I think, offered that. But what is the closest relative to a brook trout? And where did all these brook trout come? How could they be here now if we had ice a mile high here? There couldn't have been any brook trout here. So where did they come from? That's next. Kurt had the fish right after the lure. And I said, well, geez, Kurt, let me just drop the worm right down beside the lure and we'll see if we can't pick the fish up. And he just went right over from the lure, right casually, and he hit the worm. And he's not a bad one either. He's, you know, a little bigger than the last two. But like I say, folks, we're not going to get into any big monsters here. I don't know, Kurt. You want to
let him?
You know, I don't know. We need.
Well, that's got to
There you go. We gotta make it look like. Make it good. All right, boys.
He's a little bigger.
All right. Yeah, well, that's a little better fish. You know, he's a good fish. Now look, folks, all right. Yes, trout belongs to the char family, but have you guessed what he's related most closely to? Now look, I gotta tell you something else. These brook trout are much older than us. How old are they? minimum 10 million years. Can you believe it? 10 million, maybe 20 million years old. We owe it to these fish. Well, here I am taking them out, and we're gonna eat them. But we owe it to the wild ones to conserve them, because they've been here over 10 million years. And man is so careless, you know that. I mean, we see it all the time. But anyway, what happened, here's the deal. Trout originated on probably, we think, on the west coast, around British Columbia. And I'm going back 20 million years. Then there were big rivers then, and they followed those rivers down, and guess where they ended up? Louisiana. Yes, Louisiana. Can you believe it? Now, the water temperatures then were cold because we had a big ice cap up here. But as things started to warm up, then they came north, and it was too warm for them in Louisiana. There's another one. And they came up to the Adirondacks. Am I saying that properly? Doesn't matter. Let's move on. So then, from there, they came up into Ontario. They followed the ice cap up. So we haven't really had these brook trout here all that long. Now, it just so happens that we've got the most brook trout. I believe we got more in Ontario than they've got down there in the States. But they got brook trout in a lot of different places down there, don't they, Kurt?
Yep.
Yeah, they do. But anyway, so how did we start to get the brook trout? Okay, let me backtrack here a bit. So they came from the west coast, they worked down down south, then they worked their way up as a trout. But then there was a split. One trout went north, where it was much colder, and they stayed deeper. Guess what we call them? Lake trout. And now the other trout stayed a little bit south of that. We call them brook trout. And that's the difference right there. So what are they more closely related to? They're really related very closely to lake trout. And that's where you get splake from. That's it for now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come back. Come back here to Papa. Well, I tell you, they're not big, but they're giving a good account of themselves. They're nice fish, boy. They're just...
Well, that's a little thicker one.
Well, he's a little bigger. He's a little bigger. He kind of came out of the weeds.
Some nice colors on him.
Oh, beautiful colors. Yeah, I don't know what the...
You want to net them, or
No,
you want to lift them?
I suppose we should make it look a little bigger, Kurt.
Yeah.
A little bigger.
Oh yeah, that's a bigger one.
Nice fish. Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah, that's another better than the other one.
You know what, folks, is something else I'm going to bring up here that I don't know whether they maybe get tired of listening to me, but that's all right. I guess when you get to my age, you get the right to talk a little more than you should. But I see guys throwing rods out, casting, and with lures, and I just want to give my impression of the way it should be done. Let me just get this thing out first, and then we'll do that. Holy mackerel. We're casting a lure, folks, and so what should be the proper way your rod should be facing, how should you be facing, so on and so forth. Well, what you want to do is, and let's just say we're fishing for pretty damn big fish. So what you want to do is, when you cast, here I'm going to make the cast, I make the cast, now I'm going to start to reel in. But notice that my rod is down, and I'm pointed, and I point straight at the way the lure's coming in. I don't put the rod over this way, up this way, behind me, or anything like that. It's ridiculous, I realize, but point exactly where that lure is coming in from. Then, as that fish comes in to the boat, and he gets a little bit closer, I'm going to lift up my rod like this as he's in close. I'm talking about a big fish now. say I got a big pike on there, 15 pounds or whatever. I'm going to lift my rod up a little bit because guess what's going to happen? That fish is going to make a lunge. And a lot of pike, they're going to go down under it. So if I got my rod up, I'm going to be able to drop my rod and I'm going to follow him down. But you want to make sure you got your tension loosened. So a lot of times what I'm going to do is if I'm out there, I'll have my tension fairly tight because then I can, and by the way, when I'm pointed straight at that fish, like this, and he hits, let's say I'm reeling in now and he hits, I can come right straight back like this and hook him. Now when you come back, it's with your arms, folks, not your wrist. Don't snap your wrist. It's all one motion. Come back like this. Use your arms, not your wrists. And just come right up like that and you'll have the fish. And then as he gets closer, I might just open up the tension a little bit, make it a little looser, a little bit more free spooling. And then as he comes in, as I say, I'll raise my rod so if he goes down, I can follow him down and my tension's looser. I hope that helps you young fellas learn how to cast properly and reel in, especially for big fish. Thank you. On here, sir, Dave, what is he? Just,
I'm running the camera today.
well,
Steering the boat.
I don't know, just maybe lucky here.
He's getting a little thick.
Luck of the Irish skirt, maybe. He's just up there and he's, we're gonna net him. And then we're gonna another thing that oh gee, they're nice. These aren't huge fish, folks, but
Dick's going home with a dinner. That's what I can say.
well yeah, you know what? And if you eat lots of these, you'll get to my age. And lucky to get in. But that's a nice fish there. And I'm gonna zap him. There's quite a few in here, but and I'm gonna go on with I just knocked them on there. I'm gonna throw them in here. I'm gonna go on with the third tip here of the day, folks. And I've seen it with big fish. Now I'm talking big fish, and especially if you're casting big lures with big hooks. So set the stage. We got a pretty good sized lure. Let's say a big daredevil even with pretty good size hook, a number 5 or whatever number it is. Can I just have the net for a sec, Kurt, please? Now when you get that fish in, and you got a big fish on there, say you got a 20-pound pike, and you don't want to lose that pike. That's a fish of a lifetime. Hell, it'd be a lot happier with 115 pounds. But let's say you do. The last thing you want to do is leave that net in the water like that. And I'll tell you the reason why. All right, I know some of you are ahead of me already. But what happens is, as you're reeling in, you try to put that fish in that net. That big gang hook is going to get caught, not inside here, but it's going to get caught right there. And guess what? You're going to lift that up, and you got the head of the fish here, you got the hooks there, and you got 15 pounds on the other side. Guess what's going to give? Well, it's going to be this net. That hook is going to rip out of that fish somehow. You're just not going to get in. How are you going to flip that net over? Look, folks, here's a tip for you, the tip of the day, so to speak. Get the fish in, tire them out if you want to release them, whatever you're going to do, doesn't matter. But have them coming towards the boat, if you can, and have them coming towards your net, and then at the last minute, just go down under the fish and net them in one good stroke. 20-pound fish, we're never going to put in a net like that. There's another tip. Make sure when you're fishing big fish, you got a big net. Keep it out of the water until the last second, and then net your fish. Thank you very much. One last thing I wanted to say, fellows out there, is that a lot of times you look at fish and you say that it's a pound and a half or it's 2 pounds or whatever. A good way to do it is by length. And I mean, you just can't be carrying a ruler with you. You can see on the side of the boat here that we do have a measure, and we can measure a fish there. But a good way to do it is, after a while, if you catch so many fish, you're going to say that fish is 13, that one is 14. Yeah, you got a pretty good idea. But as a rule of thumb, average weight for a brook trout, 13.5-inch fish, is 1 pound. Remember that. Now that's, you can, I mean, they're not all at 13.5, going to be 1 pound, but that's the average size, bigger and the smaller, all averaged in. You're going to have 13.5, is going to be about 1 pound. Now perch, 13 inches, 1/2 inch less, it's a pound. Again, 1/2 inch, or average size. For 2 pounds for a brook trout is 17 inches. So if you get a 17-inch brook trout, you're looking at a 2-pound fish, average size. Now you're going to be a lake or two that you're going to go into, you say, well, I know that I can go to a lake and it's 16.5 or 16.75. It's going to be 2 pounds. But those are the kind of things, if you know your length, you don't have to weigh it. Just measure it, have a little something on your cooler or whatever, and you're going to know the weight of it almost immediately. That's another tip for you fellas. Have a nice day.